Have you ever felt like a small boat tossed in a storm, your voice lost in the roar of thunderous opinions? In this video, you'll discover how to outsmart anyone without uttering a single word, and you'll learn why that silence can become your fiercest weapon. Picture stepping into a battlefield of words, where loud declarations slam into sharp rebuttals, where emotions run high and every phrase feels like a punch. Now imagine yourself standing in that very storm, completely calm, your presence alone reshaping the entire fight. Stay with me, because silence is not absence. It is your most powerful move. When the heat of an argument rises, your heart pounds, your palms sweat, and your mind races to find the perfect retort. You feel cornered, driven by the urge to defend yourself, to prove your worth, to secure your victory. But here's the secret Nietzsche whispered to those brave enough to listen. Every word you speak hands a clue to your opponent, your beliefs, your vulnerabilities, your darkest fears. You should pay close attention to how your own voice betrays you, because those pauses, those fluctuations in tone, those stutters, they all scream, "Attack here." And when you grasp that truth, you unlock a new form of power, one that needs no words at all. Imagine you're surrounded by people who interrupt, who mock your hesitation, who dominate every pause as if volume equals value. You've been taught that silence equals surrender, that to stay silent is to admit defeat. But what if I told you that real victory doesn't come from winning an argument, but from never needing to enter one? Watch till the end to find out 4 strategic weapons of silence that will turn every loudmouth into a stumbling shadow of themselves. Let's begin by understanding why words betray us. When you speak, your voice carries emotion, excitement, anger, fear. Each inflection tells a story. Each pause reveals uncertainty. Your opponents are hunters. They prey on those signals. They strike at the crack in your armor, the tremor in your resolve. Your natural urge to respond, to clarify, to justify, is like raising a neon sign that reads, "Here I'm weak, here I break." That reactive mind is the subjugated mind, the one still chained to its own impulses. Nietzsche called this herd mentality, a life lived under others' expectations, always seeking validation, always desperate to be understood. It keeps your will small and your spirit confined. But there is another mind, the observing mind. This mind does not leap to speak. It does not race to react. It remains still. It watches the storm and refuses to be swept away. When you master the observing mind, you step out of the herd. You become the calm in the chaos. The loud voices around you crash like waves against an unmovable cliff. They break, dissolve, and retreat. This is your first weapon, silence as presence. You are more than your words. Your silence says, "I stand here unshaken by your chaos." If you're ready to claim that power, you must first feel the resistance in your bones. Feel the knot in your throat, the tension in your chest. That resistance is natural. It is the echo of a lifetime of conditioning. You've been told that if you don't fight back, you lose. But true struggle begins within, in the silent chambers of your mind. And when you conquer your reactive impulses, you conquer the world around you. Now picture the scene. Someone hurls a brutal accusation at you. Maybe unfair, maybe deeply personal. Your skin crawls. Your throat itches to retort. But instead of lashing out, you remain still. You let the silence stretch like a rope, tightening around their confidence. Their eyes dart, searching for a response. Their mind races. Is he conceding? Is he hiding something? What is he plotting? In that void, they spill more of themselves. Body language, conflicted words, self-doubt. They leak their strategy, their thoughts, their weaknesses. This is your second weapon. Silence disrupts their script. They fill the void with themselves, and you collect every fragment as ammunition. Science even backs this up. Studies show that when expected feedback vanishes, the amygdala, the brain's fear center, goes into high alert. We crave responses. We need confirmation that our message lands. If silence claims the space, panic sets in. We question ourselves. Did I offend? Is my argument flawed? Am I losing? This internal chaos hands you the upper hand. You shape the battlefield, not with words, but with the pressure of their own minds spinning out of control. Watch till the end to learn how to wield this chaos as your advantage. Now, manipulators, those masters of emotional control, feed on your reactions. They twist your words, prey on your anger, fuel their power with your confusion. But when you refuse to react, you break their game. They lose traction, become unmoored, desperate, exposed. This is your third weapon. Silence breaks the manipulator's power. They need your response to validate their position. Deprived of it, they crumble, revealing the mechanisms of their control. Before we dive deeper into the final weapon, pause for a moment and take a breath. If the power of silence resonates with you, pause this video, hit the like button, and comment "Silent Strength" below. Let's build a community of warriors who fight with quiet minds. If you haven't already, subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss a strategy that transforms your mind and your life. Now, let's ascend to Nietzsche's highest ideal, the Übermensch, the Overman. This figure does not waste breath on petty debates. He shapes the world through unwavering self-mastery. He speaks only when his words will topple empires. His silence is charged with presence. It is authority. It is threat. When he enters a room, his gaze alone demands respect. While others shout, he watches. While others argue, he perceives. He chooses his moment and his words with surgical precision. He is the embodiment of strategic silence. This model is not a mere concept. It is your next level. Let's break down the 4 weapons of silence one by one. First, restraint. Be silent when every fiber in you screams to speak. That scream is poison, a symptom of herd mentality, a craving for acceptance. When you resist it, you prove that you answer only to yourself. Your silence becomes an unbreachable shield. Second, observation. Listen like a hunter stalking prey in the underbrush. Notice the flicker in their eyes, the twitch of their lip, the slip in their tone. Store these insights in your mind. These are coordinates to their vulnerabilities. When you speak, your words will strike with the precision of guided missiles. Third time, let silence linger. A well-timed pause carries more weight than 10 rushed sentences. The tension you create is power, an electric charge the other person cannot withstand. Fourth, unpredictability. Be the enigma they cannot decode. When they can't anticipate your reaction, they lose control. You become the gravitational center. They orbit your silence with unease. Silence ceases to be absence and becomes pure dominance. But what comes next will change everything. Watch till the end. As you practice these weapons, remember, silence is not passivity. It is active, tense, charged with intention. You are not withholding. You are choosing the exact moment to unleash your power. When you finally speak, let it be a single, precise sentence, one that resonates deeper than any roar. Yet there is a darker side to silence, a trap that many fall into without realizing. Sometimes, silence is not strategy, but submission. When you hold your tongue out of fear, guilt, or habit, you become invisible. You let others define your worth. You swallow your truth and let your life be shaped by their whims. This is slave morality, a code that praises self-nullification, conformity, and resignation. Nietzsche despised this weakness. He called for a rebellion of the self, a rebirth of presence-based silence. Have you ever felt that sting of being talked over at work, dismissed in a meeting, used in a friendship? That pain comes from the belief that your silence means consent. But when you awaken to the will to power, the drive to master yourself, you kill that consent. You reclaim your narrative. You cease to be the victim of other people's noise. You become the silent warrior who stands unshaken, unmoved by applause or condemnation. If you're ready to break these chains, comment "I rise" below and share your moment of silent triumph. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now, because the next chapters of this journey will shatter even more illusions. Now let's make this real. How do you transform silence from a theory into a lived skill? Here's your daily practice. Begin each morning with 5 minutes of stillness before you check your phone or speak a word. Feel the urge to engage, notice it, and let it pass. In every conversation today, insert a 2-second pause before you reply. Observe how people lean in, how they scramble for words. At night, reflect on moments when you stayed silent under pressure. What did you feel? What did others reveal? Journal these insights. Finally, choose one challenging interaction, an upcoming meeting, a tough text, a heated debate, where you will intentionally deploy silence. Plan your pause, observe your opponent, and strike with a single sharp point when the moment is right. Practice these steps for a week. You'll feel your awareness sharpen. You'll see power shift in subtle but real ways. Silence will become your signature, your presence, your unseen blade. But what comes next will change everything. Watch till the end. Here's the ultimate secret. Silence reflects truth. When you refuse to fill every gap with words, you force the world to confront itself. People project their thoughts into the void you create. They reveal their masks, their lies, their deepest fears. This reflection is a treasure trove of insight, if you know how to use it. You don't need paragraphs of argument. You need a single sentence of unassailable truth, delivered after the silence has done its work. That one sentence will resonate deeper than any tirade. As we come to the close of this journey, remember that the path of the Übermensch is not for the faint of heart. It demands discipline every day. It demands you face the discomfort of silence, the resistance of your own ego. There will be moments when old reflexes return, the urge to explain, to justify, to defend. When that happens, pause, remind yourself, I owe no one my voice. The truth does not need amplification to stand. Now it's time for your next step. Begin weaving these practices into your life. Start small, but be consistent. Notice the power you gain when you stop reacting. Notice how silence becomes your ally, not your fear. And when you're ready, share your journey. Comment "Silent Warrior" below and tell me one moment this week when you used silence and watched your opponent's facade crumble. If this message moved you, be sure to like this video, subscribe for more psychology, philosophy and self-mastery strategies, and share it with someone who needs to discover their silent strength. Support this channel by ringing the bell and joining a community of minds dedicated to mastering presence over noise. Silence is not weakness, it is mastery. Comment your experiences, subscribe now, and become part of the legion that outsmarts the world without saying a single word.